This is an Imperial 66 typewriter which has arrived at the Mythical Ireland office here in the past week. This is a standard typewriter. It's a large typewriter, an office desktop based typewriter rather than a portable typewriter. Its year of manufacture is likely to be somewhere between 1957 and 1960. The Imperial Typewriter Company was a British company. They were granted a royal license to be the British typewriter manufacturer. I think, could be mistaken, in the 1920s, could have been after that, when it was revealed that a huge number of typewriters being sold in Britain were American. So they said, well, we should be able to make our own typewriters. And they had a manufacturing plant based in Leicester. It says that here. Rebuilt by the manufacturers Imperial Typewriter Company Limited, Leicester. A fine big typewriter. There's a very famous story about Imperial. They came to prominence in the early to mid 70s after it was revealed that they were underpaying their Asian staff. They had 1,100 Asian staff out of 1,600 employees in total, and they were paying their British employees more. And then there was a big strike, and then I don't know if it was months later, but it wasn't too long afterwards. Lytton, who had bought Imperial in the 60s, decided to shut it down and move manufacturing elsewhere. Anyway, this typewriter arrived on my desk. It arrived here last week, courtesy of a friend who had literally rescued it from the scrap heap. It was being thrown out, and it was poorly looking, to say the least. He messaged me to say, any interest in having a look at this? I said, yeah, why not? When it arrived, it was in a less than healthy state. So I'll just quickly describe, as quickly as I can, because I want to type on it and show you what it's like to actually use. There were lots of problems. There is a detachable carriage. You press two buttons on either side underneath and it literally lifts off. That was detached anyway, and the drawband was detached, but it hooks on very simply. But it was also frayed and it was nearly broken, so I knew that was going to be an issue. When I attached the carriage would not move. It was totally locked into place. Nothing. I was trying to press the carriage release levers and, space and whatever. It just was completely locked into position once it was on the body, which was strange. The keys were filthy. In fact, you couldn't see the colon or semicolon key. You couldn't see what was on it. The key tops were absolutely filthy. The type bars on the segment were filthy, and I still think there's a bit of rust in there, so that's something I'm going to have to look at. But so you couldn't press the keys. In many cases you had to make an effort just to get the key to press down, and it would absolutely get stuck very quickly. It wouldn't even go as far as striking the platen. They were literally just like trying to, it's like they were coated in cement or something. The only key that would work was F, and it was striking the platen and sluggishly coming back. What else? Well, the ribbon I had to take off. The paper support was bent. It still is a bit crooked. It obviously got a knock at some point, even when it was being dumped, maybe, because the bracket on the back of it is bent. The whole thing was filthy, very dirty. I've cleaned a lot of it. I've cleaned the chrome parts, the paper guide, the carriage return lever, for instance. Some of it still needs to be cleaned. Another problem was that the paper bale would not return. I couldn't get it to return back to the platen, so that needed a bit of freeing up. What else? I've quickly figured out, though, that it's got one of these removable type units, and that is quite handy. Also handy in terms of getting access into the segment for some cleaning. So that's an interesting feature. So I flushed the segment, and very quickly the keys started working. I flushed it twice and found that there was relatively good action and return action. I gave it a third flush then just to make sure. Now I probably will put, the Americans call it lacquer thinner. We have cellulose thinner. I probably will flush it with cellulose thinner because there is some grime still in there. I cleaned the type slugs, which were quite dirty. I used an old toothbrush and some alcohol for that. I went over the keys twice with sort of like an antibacterial cloth, and then gave them a wipe with a dry cloth. They're still, I mean, they're quite good, don't get me wrong, and I've no major complaint. They're still a little bit dirty in places. So the linkages and I suppose the bars that support the keys are a little bit rusty under there, so I may have to look at a longer term intervention there. Anyway, I eventually, after just attaching and detaching and reattaching the carriage, it eventually just worked. It was like a miracle. It just worked. Straightened up the paper support and attached that. Put a new ribbon in, brand new black and red ribbon. Thankfully it takes a standard ribbon, which is a DIN 2013 ribbon, which is great. As I said, cleaned the platen. The platen is easy to remove on these, just two levers on either side and it comes out. I also quickly discovered that, you know, the line spacing lever, the paper release lever, the ratchet release lever, were all working. There's ink selector here and the stencil mode, they all worked. Ribbon reverse, well, I hadn't yet tested that, so I couldn't say whether that worked or not. The tab system works and all the keys work. Now, as I say, the type slugs initially, the first type tests revealed that there was a lot of dirt had coagulated, you know, in the inner parts of letters like A and E, so they needed cleaning. Anyway, I eventually did a type test and was amazed to find the thing working, and I've been using it quite regularly since last week, and I'm delighted to report that despite the issues that are still there, i.e., you know, rusty bars and linkages, a segment that is still dirty, and just general age. This thing was obviously kept in storage for a long time. Possibly, it wasn't out in the rain, I don't think, but it was possibly kept in a shed or somewhere where, you know, over time it was damp and cold. But I really thought when I saw it initially, I thought, okay, parts machine, that's all this is going to be good for. And was really surprised and quite delighted actually that it worked. Not the first time a typewriter has been delivered to me that turned out to be a fine working machine. I'm just going to do a little bit of a type test to show you the thing in action. As I say, I really enjoy it. There's something about a standard that really gives you confidence in what you're doing. A lot of the smaller portable compact typewriters, they make, sorry, I'm just going to tab that in, they make sacrifices, you know, in terms of the weight. They sometimes sacrifice features to make everything fit into a smaller space. The desktop typewriter was designed to be in one place all the time, and I've heard it said the only standard typewriter I've used in the past few years was the Adler Special. I've heard it said about standards that, you know, they are the supreme typewriter experience. So I was able to put that to the test with the Imperial 66, you know, by giving it a type test, finding that actually it works. Initially, the drawband tension when I reattached it wasn't strong enough. So what was happening is, as the carriage was moving over, there was less strength in it, and it wasn't actually moving a full space. So the letters are kind of piling up. So what I had to do was detach the drawband underneath. This is a job. First of all, remove the carriage, turn the typewriter on its side, and hold the mainspring with my thumb while moving it. I think it was holding it with my thumb and moving it with my finger. It was very awkward. And I thought, at any moment, this is going to let go and spring back, and I'm going to have to wind it all over again, which is a hell of a job. Miraculously, I managed to do it in one go, which I was astonished about, to be honest. Really astonished. So I managed to wind it on another couple of turns, reattach the drawband, and now I find that there's what I would consider to be the perfect tension on it. Now, I'm not sure if there's probably a guideline somewhere in a repair or service manual that says exactly how often you should turn it. Anyway, the Imperial 66. Oh, I'll do put this onto 2, which is probably, is it? Oh no, there's a halfway. Hang on. Yes, line and a half is what I will do. This is a wonderful Imperial 66 typewriter, manufactured in Leicester. You would think Leicester, wouldn't you? Leicester. Leicester. It's a bit like Worcestershire, that unpronounceable English place name. Manufactured in Leicester sometime near the margin there between, what did I say, 1957 and 1960. It is quite a miracle that this thing works, and works so well. Given the bell the bell only seems to work some of the time. Now, come here, that's not, for me, that's not a deal breaker. I put the margin I put the margin beyond the left-hand side of the paper. I like to work over to the margin and just judge it myself. And works well, given its very forlorn condition when it arrived here last week. Yeah, there's something really punchy about the action on it, you know, that I really enjoy. It's solid and it doesn't move. Like, the only movement, by the way, I cleaned the rubber feet. They're in very good nick, the rubber feet on it. It doesn't, you really have to chuck it around to get it to move. Actually, the only thing that moves it is if you're forceful on the carriage return, you know. There are lots of problems, and my first impression when I saw it, pardon the poor English, this isn't exactly going to be Pulitzer winning material, was that it would make a spares machine at best. However, just 24 hours after receiving it with a considerable amount of cleaning and attention, it finally kicked into life once again. Now, what I'm gonna say here is important. The condition it had arrived in convinced me that it had not been used in years, and perhaps even decades. It is a lovely thing to restore an old beauty like this to working order against the odds. She is still a bit dirty in the innards, and her exterior has seen better days, but all that just adds to the character of what is a wonderful typer. It would also strike me that the Imperial 66 doesn't seem to have been a commonplace typewriter from the point of view. If you search YouTube right now, I could only find one video of the Imperial 66. Now, I think the original Imperial standard was the 50, and that, you know, all of the standard Imperials afterwards all had this feature of the removable type unit, and they all share common features. I think the removable carriage, etc. And so I think they made the 50, the 55. Was there a 56, a 60, a 65, a 66? So it was one in a line of typewriters that had been based on a particular design, and that design had changed, but not changed dramatically over the years. Perhaps it's because it was a British typewriter. There's not that many of them on the second-hand market. I don't know. But as a spares machine, it probably wouldn't have been much use because there don't seem to be many of them around, you know. Anyway, it has been a pleasure for me to RESCU. I don't know how to spell resuscitate. It's RESC. No, there's an S and a C together. It's RES. Okay, I'm going to have to Google that one. Sorry, folks. That's cheating. Ah, yeah. It's RESUSC, so I made a mistake. So, do you know what? Just do the old-fashioned XXX resuscitate. It has been a pleasure for me to resuscitate this beast and to find such joy in using it again. Well, again. Yeah, I didn't use it before. But anyway, c'est la vie. If this was Microsoft Word or something in a computer, I'd be backspacing now. And, you know, other thing about typewriters, it's wonderful. It does force you to think ahead. I'm just making a video here, so I'm not concentrating as much as I should be. Yeah. The action is quite solid. The type slugs are clean, and the type alignment is, I would say, perfect, which is wonderful. I didn't have to adjust the vertical alignment. The type bars all return quickly, and yeah, the platen still has a tiny bit of softness in it. I think I'm coming to the end of the ribbon, am I? Yeah, not far from the end of it. Anyway, that is, let me just quickly do the all typewriter tests. Do this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, dash 3/4, then shift. So asterisk, quotes, /, at sign, pound sign, underscore, ampersand, single quote or apostrophe, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, question mark, quarter, QWERTYUIOT 3/8, 2/3, and then, So there are still one or two of the keys that wouldn't be used very much that are tiny bit sticky. They may need another flushing. Did I space that time? Did I? Not sure. Yeah. QWERTYUIOT 1/8, 1/3. Yeah, 1/3 is definitely sticking. Let's go down a line. ASDFGHJKL semicolon 7/8 equal. And in capitals, ASDFGHJKL colon 5/8 plus sign. And down to the last line, I think. Oh, the ribbon's not finished yet, but it's just typing a little bit lighter in places. ZXCVBNM, comma, full stop, 1/2, and the same again in capitals, ZXCVBNM, comma, full stop, and percentage sign. The thick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Or, if you prefer, Sphinx of black quartz, judge my vow. Well, that's heavier there now. Anyway, I'm going to show you this up close. Pardon me for a second while I detach the camera from the tripod. And I'll have to refocus here, so give me one moment. So you'll see here now, first of all, that the keys are not all really shiny clean, but they're okay. Space bar and the tab bar seem to have been a different colour, and they're quite faded. You can see, of course, the body has marks on it. But yeah, look, it's got scuffs and bits and tings and bangs and stuff, but it works brilliantly, you know. So here we go. Here is the result of that last little bit of typing. I'm hoping I wasn't premature in announcing that the alignment was perfect. I haven't noticed anything really off with it, you know. So there it is. There's the nice print from. It's an Elite typeface. I don't know what the typeface is. It's Elite. It's 12 characters per inch, and I like it. Actually, it compares very well to. I have some other Elite machines here. The Adler Gabrielle 25, the Olivetti Valentine in red, and the Olivetti Studio 46. Are three that I can think of. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and a look at the Imperial 66. You can see there that the slugs and the type bars, I hope you can see that they're not as clean as I would like them to be, clean and shiny. However, I did buff up the slugs, and I think that they're making a nice clean impression on the paper. Sometimes too much, because but that, you see the W has a double impression there, but that's simply because I struck it too hard, you know. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and that is the Imperial 66 working quite brilliantly, and as I say, I would have said against all the odds. Thank you.